What's up you guys, the Curious Owl here, and today I have the more proper announcement video for Battle of the Bookish. So if you guys don't know, I have been hosting a readathon with my friends Adri and Liv for the last few years, which is a readathon we call Battle of the Bookish. And last October, we started off with doing a week-long readathon version of that to break up the time between the two big rounds that we do in January and in June. We do a week-long readathon in April and also in October, and we are getting ready for our next skills training camp week-long readathon. And the theme for this readathon is Avatar: The Last Airbender, as picked by the winners of the last big round of Battle of the Bookish. So this one, we've got a little bit of a different kind of story. It's basically combining the last two skills training camps that we've had, where it's part whodunit, part scavenger hunt. So let's get into the story of what's going on with Sokka in particular with Avatar: The Last Airbender. Sokka's boomerang has gone missing. Clearly someone has stolen it. Sokka and Momo have teamed up to find the thief. Read books and complete challenges to unlock the clues that will help Sokka and Momo to the boomerang and the culprit who stole it. So for this, basically, you are going to have to earn points to then earn clues, which will be unlocked. Basically, they're interview questions with the different characters from the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender to essentially help us with finding where the boomerang has gone and who may have stolen it. So basically, each team is going to earn so many points over the course of the week, and when they hit certain benchmarks, they will then get the next clue that there is for the scavenger hunt. And so far we have had some moderate success with it, so we're seeing how exactly everyone is going to do with this. But without further ado, let's get into some of the rules when it comes to the skills training camp. So mainly the rules are pretty much the same from our big rounds to our skills training camp, where you have to read books to complete challenges. Now you can read books just for the page points themselves that they will attribute, which the list of the page points are going to be here. Basically, if you read a book with a certain number of pages and then also ascribe it to a certain prompt, you then earn more points. Now the teams also then are averaged out based on how many people that the team has. So then your team average is basically what is going to help us with figuring out when you get those benchmarks. So there's going to be benchmarks about every 500 to 1,000 points. And so each time that your team average gets to a certain benchmark, you will unlock one of those clues. The only way we are going to be able to give out points is if you fill out our point redemption channel on your individual team section in our Discord. So we do everything from Discord. It is a lot easier for us battle masters to do so. So if you want to join in on the fun, go ahead and follow our Discord down below in the description. Now each team also has a certain ability, which is then going to help them in some ways with their reading over the course of the entire week, which the readathon is going to be taking place on October 23rd to October 30th, with the results going to be revealed on the 31st, which is Halloween. So each of the teams are basically divvied up by different nations. The Fire Nation, Air Nation, Water Nation, and Earth Nation, just like we have in Avatar: The Last Airbender. So each team gets their own prompts for basically their abilities. For the Fire Nation, we have Dragon Dance, which is to experience the true meaning of firebending through obtaining the first clue before everyone else. So this team is actually going to, right out the gate, get the first clue before either of the other teams, and they will be able to obtain clues earlier, but this does not necessarily mean that they will be the winners. It just means that they get a bit of a head start, but the other teams are more than likely to be able to surpass them depending on how fast people can read their books in the span of a week. We have the Water Tribe, which basically has the prompt of blood bending, which they are able to bend a book to fit more than one prompt at a time, but you can only do that for one book. You are only able to have one book count for two prompts the one time. So be mindful and be careful with what you pick. The Air Nomads, there is only one. So this team, they are able to DNF one book and obtain full points for it, and you can only do this for one book. Now this means that if you had decided you wanted to place it with a prompt as well as earning the page points, you can do so and DNF for the full points, but only do it for the one book. So again, be mindful of what you are picking for that. And finally, for the Earth Kingdom, the ability is metal bending, which for this, we're basically making it kind of seem like you can do something that doesn't necessarily fit the prompt as well as it probably should. So if you have a book that doesn't quite fit a prompt in the best way possible, but you are in the Earth Kingdom, for one book only, you you are able to basically get a book to fit any prompt, no matter if it does fit or if it doesn't. So if you're on Earthbending team, you can get one book to fit a prompt that it does not satisfy at all normally, because with metal bending, it's typically not necessarily looked at for earthbending, but Toph is able to do it, so why can't you guys? Now let's get into the prompts for everybody. These are prompts that every single person that is going to be in the readathon is going to have as part of their TBR for the week. So we first have Aang, which is to read a middle grade with heavy topics within it. And for Katara, we have a book with a strong female character. This does not have to be the main character, but most often that is the case. But if you have a strong female character that is a side character, that will count. For Sokka, we have a book that makes you laugh. For Zuko, we have a book that involves a redemption arc, either on the character's part or basically an arc about redemption in general. For Toph, we have a book that is in a non-traditional format, so basically anything that is not published in a physical form that is normally like a paperback of some kind. Manga and graphic novels will count for this because those are not considered traditional format of books. But basically anything ebook, audiobook, manga, graphic novel, something that is not traditionally published in like a written word physical format. Then for Uncle Iroh, we have a book with cozy vibes. And finally, for Fire Lord Ozai, we have read a book with big bad villain energy. So basically something that is either looming in the distance or it just has a really big bad villain. Whichever one counts, whatever you consider to have big bad villain energy will count for this. So with that, that is everything you guys need to know about the next round of the skills training camp. It's going to be really fun. I think that this is going to be a little different than how things have normally gone. I'm excited to see especially how the teams work this time compared to how we've had it previous times, because everybody loves in our group Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm excited to see what nation ends up getting the most people as well, because sometimes that can determine what exactly happens during the week. But y'all always surprise me with Battle of the Bookish. Y'all always surprise me with who wins and who gets it right and everything. The winning team is going to be the one that guesses correctly who the culprit is for the stealing of Sokka's boomerang, and if you get it right, your team will earn 200 points advantage that they will get in the next big round, which our next big round is in January of 2024. So in that round, the winning team will earn 200 points for their team advantage against the other teams. Again, that does not necessarily mean that team is going to win the big round, but it definitely does help with giving them a bit of a head start. And so sometimes that team does well, other times other teams surpass them. So you never really know what to expect with Battle of the Bookish. I am always surprised, so I cannot wait to see how this week goes. But if you guys have any questions, you can always check us out on our Discord and ask in our questions section, or you can ask me in the comments of this video. I'd be more than happy to answer if there's anything that seems confusing. If this is your first time joining us for the skills training camp, that is perfectly fine. You do not have to have participated in any of the big rounds to participate in the skills training camp. Just make sure that you know what team you'd like to be a part of and join in. And then in the big round, if you do decide you want to switch teams to a different tribe, then that is totally fine as well. Just make sure that you let us know that that's what's going to happen, so that, you know, we can kind of keep track of where everybody is. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for joining me in this video. If you guys did enjoy it, please do give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you'd like to be and would like to see more content like this, go ahead and hit that button down below and subscribe to become an owlet in our flock. And I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye guys!